Well, first of all, this meeting will go over the same things as tonight's meeting, except in tonight's meeting, there's 2 surprises. So if you are able to, you should join the evening meeting also. So 2 very special surprises coming up. As I said, well, maybe someone hadn't joined yet. What?
Because it's 3 a.m. in the morning, our time for us Aussies, is there any way to loop us Aussies in on the surprise without everyone else? Because there's no way we are getting up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning to listen to the surprise.
Well, I mean, that's up to you, I guess. You're gonna have to choose to give up on sleep. The one surprise we can't actually, like, I can't even say anything to you. It's you have to be there to experience it. The other one I could say, but if I say it, then it's ruined for the evening's meeting. So I'm kind of stuck, to be honest.
So private message it to me later.
Okay, it will be messaged to you about 3 a.m. your time.
Oh, you. Okay, thank you. I'll set an alarm. Darren, I'll set an alarm so I can let you know what the information is in the morning. Things I do from Yako, Australia. Things I do.
How about announcing it now and not having the meeting later?
Well,
meeting.
I've got a feeling the surprise they're going to be on the Discord later is a feeling that I have.
Yeah.
This is the important meeting, not that one of them in European US bullshit time.
Exactly. Anyway, let's move on. So maybe some people hadn't arrived. I said that regional kits are sold out until the next batch is ready. These regional kits were actually a bit different because they were 100% the same as the member cars. We just pre-packed them, did the different chassis laser logo and shipped them out. So they are all gone, and we don't have a solid date yet, to be honest, but first quarter of next year, that's the goal for new 2023 regional kits. Then we have some e-buggy prototypes still available. 40 or 50 kits are left, so they are available, and we have I think about 20 member cars left, so not too many of them either. And when they sell out, it's the same thing, so we'll have a new batch then early next year. Then we have a annual issue, which is called Chinese New Year. So everything in China shuts down for about a month. It's usually February time, January, February. For this year, it's a bit earlier. So basically, the factory has told us that they need all orders by the end of the year. So if you're planning to order anything from the international store, you need to place that order before the end of the year. Then they will have just over a week to process the order, get it shipped out, and then Chinese New Year starts. And the factory will be closed until February. Now, they say that they'll be back like first week of February. Based on experience, I would say mid-February. Okay, so just know you need international store, all service centers, or if you normally order from the international store, place your order before the end of the year to be sure to get it, because the next time orders will ship will be around mid-February. I don't know what this means, Robert, do you? Scott has just written good discussions on MX-8 electric prototype, see Discord. So I guess if you're interested in the electric car, there's a lot of activity in Discord regarding the layout of the chassis and such things. I don't know what we are supposed to say here in the meeting other than go and check the Discord. Do you know, Robert? You're muted.
Hello, guys. No?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Robert.
So, yes, the electric as Joseph said on the Discord, Max sent a lot of different layouts, and they're talking about a lot of different things. To be honest, I still didn't test the car, so I had no time to that. I will rent it and do it. And yeah, we are trying to make the car like a complete car as soon as possible. But everyone is super happy with the car, so I think we are in a good way. And yeah, on electric, yes, it's like the perfect car for a real member car, like the guy who really likes to develop the car and just know about everything into the car. That's something I think any other brand has right now. So I think it's good, and we will have more things to come for members, like to feel on that way. And yeah, now, as Joseph said, the quite problem we had with the stock on nitro cars, but we'll have a new version now that Joseph will tell about. Some of them, I think they will be 100, I guess, if I remember well.
Yeah, 100 pieces.
Yeah, so we'll have that version, and I'm already pushing the factory to get all kits for the next year as soon as possible, so we don't run out of kits. I mean, from one side it's good because we expected less sales and we are having a lot. From the other part, I think we will lose a little bit of sales from people that needs kits now. They maybe don't like the new version. I mean, the version of 100 we will do now, I think it's perfect, like with the right parts, and it's really good. This is the one.
Did you see the picture?
Yes. Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so back in July, was it? David Ronefalk won the European Championship. So we decided to make a special edition of the car just for this. So basically it's the spec that he ran at this race. You can see that he has the arms on the front, links on the back. He had a long link tower with higher shock holes. So basically we have made a kit to this spec. Apart from carbon side guards, but those will be available separately. So I can go through the parts that will be on this car, and this it's still looking like it will ship before Chinese New Year. So what we'll do is we'll gather pre-orders from all service centers and direct also for members, and then ship all of those orders out, and also then ship all the remaining cars to the European warehouse and the American warehouse, just to be sure that they are all available also during the holiday in China. And we'll confirm the pricing and all that here in the next few days. But basically the value is good. So let me just share the correct thing here. If I can open the Zoom window, yeah. Okay. It's not finding what to share. There we go. So, well, the chassis will be the lightweight chassis. So the chassis that the stock length F8 chassis, but machined more, loses about 35 grams. And it will have this sort of this laser engraving. This was just a sample they made. It's going to be a bit bigger, but this engraving on the chassis, lightweight chassis. That's what the chassis looks like. Those of you who haven't seen it. Then it has this tower, but it's actually anodized. It's brown color with black inserts. So David didn't run this specific one, but the idea is the same. You flip these inserts and you get the setting that he ran, the longer link. Also, you have the different locations for the wing. He ran the wing mount higher, and the shock holes are also higher. Then this is a picture of the standard gearbox screws, but just to remind me to say that the gearbox screws will be titanium in the kit. The inserts for the A and D blocks and the towers will be carbon, even though David didn't have these for the Euros yet, but we decided to include them with this kit since it's a sort of premium level higher spec kit. Also the carbon arm braces for the rear. So he ran them just on the rear, so you get them on the rear, and the plastics for the front. Then the CNC rear hub will also be included as standard. And of course, plastic inserts to go with them. And then the #1 carbon plate. So the new thin ones, 3mm ones that you double up. The 94mm rear universals will also be included as standard. That's a part that pretty much everyone changes to. So this is really good to have in the kit from the start. Then the car is a bit wide on the front, so he ran 4mm hexes in the front. So those are included in the kit. And when you run these for some wheels, you need to add a couple of shims on them so they don't rub knuckle. But those, what is it? 8 times 16. I can't remember the size now. 13 times 16 shim. Turnbuckles are titanium on the kit. It's also a good upgrade. Engine mount is the split engine mount with the long left mount. So this is the top parts of the engine mount. Then for the throttle servo, the brace is also the long one. The front shocks come with a long shock shaft, so you can run the outside hole on the arm with the short shock end. Black front springs, brown rear springs, because that's the setup that was run. And also pistons will be the 7-hole pistons, so 713, 714. Wing will be black, but it's the 2.0 wing. And the body is also the 2.0 body with the flat sides. And this was just to remind me to tell you that front will be upper arms. So the normal upper arm setup front, and then rear will be link.
And the roll bars 2.2, 2.6.
Yeah, so roll bars are 2.2 front, 2.6 rear. It's KPI 1, caster 1.
C and D blocks were standard.
Actually, that's a good point. It was
C and D was
pretty
1.5
sure it's,
degree total.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 50 and 53.
Yeah.
But I would actually have to check that one. So very relevant point. So the hinge pins will be the through style hinge pin. I don't have a picture of them yet, but basically the A, B, C, D blocks are drilled through, and you use the screw type hinge pin that goes all the way through with a nut. So just like what David ran at the Euros, I can show you here. So this car will be available shortly to pre-order, and it should be shipping the first week of January. So here
Yes,
you
it
can
has
see
this.
the rear, how it's the through type hinge pin with the M4 nuts on the end.
Guess it has the +4mm chassis, huh?
No, it's the normal F8 because that's what was run.
Okay.
Does it have titanium screws and the extra weights that you can see in that picture? Get it?
No, screws are standard and the weights aren't included. I think they are T-Works weights, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think T works, and then 15 on each side of the chassis, so 30 in total.
Yep. So
It's funny
any
that
question?
Robert mentioned the roll bars before, because I think that was one of the first thing he commented after the main, like, how can you run 2.2 front wheel bar?
But now I understand.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I could drive with this also. Not in the Euros, in the past Euros, but now for sure.
Yeah.
Why would you say that is? If you compare to Mugen versus this, Mugen, you had to run hard roll bar. Here you can get away with a thin one. Why is that?
On the Euros I was driving, I guess, 2.6 front, and I started on 2.3 and it was impossible. I had to change it at the end. Like, it was super tricky, like steering and just rolling so much, and I couldn't do it even with harder shock oils, harder diffs, going up on the upper arm, everything, and nothing. Like, it was too aggressive. And I was on 2.6, I guess, or 2.7, but Kilix were on 3 front, so I was even so much softer than all of them.
But why do you think you can get away with the thin one on the Mayako? You don't have the same feeling?
Yeah, now it's so much easier on steering. Like, it's not rolling suddenly, it's rolling like so much softer, and the feeling of the steering, it's easier at the beginning. Like, I can approach better the turn. Like, I can be more precise, so I can drive a little bit more.
Okay.
I have to try.
Fingal asks if Tebow is one surprise. That would be a surprise also to me, actually. That'd be pretty funny. I would have to stop making Jesus jokes.
I guess.
In his last few posts, he's had less and less Jesus references, though, Joseph.
Really? Is he converting?
Yeah. I don't know, but if you have a look at his last couple of posts, there's not so much about "thank you, my Lord and Savior," blah blah blah. That's toned down.
Is he coming back?
Okay. So, other topics of discussion, other meetings. Tuesday evenings, Mayako USA has a wrenching session. So follow that on Discord. Wednesday evenings, Ronne Falk has his Q&A. I believe he does a Facebook Live first, and then after that, Q&A on a members only Q&A on Discord. Then Wednesday evening after that on the Falk Q&A, there's a Mayako Europe wrenching session on Discord. So Tuesdays and Wednesdays are active days on Discord. Then for South America, Robert can take over and talk a bit about our trip around South America and also his progress with the car, how he's found the first month or so with Mayako.
Yeah, trip. I mean, as a general, it was super good. It was almost my first time with a car. I had only like 4 or 5 liters before. I had not really time to test with the car before. So yeah, at the beginning it was good. I mean, I was a little bit afraid of Joseph to be 3 weeks with him. Like, maybe it can be, maybe we would kill each other or something like that. But at the end, it was pretty much funny than expected. Also with Lefty, they both are great. So, I mean, we had fun a lot. That's true. And that's one of the goals.
You didn't share the room with him, though.
I shared with Joseph.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I shared the camper with him for 5 weeks in the US, so I know.
I shared a lot of things with Joseph, I guess.
That's not a good thing to say in front of a bunch of Aussies at the time, hey?
So Yes, it was. I mean, we went with invisible speed mainly to make some clinics. To be honest, I think they are super helpful for the people. Like people enjoy it so much. I would say all of them. Like even the top guys on that countries that they thought they knew everything and everything is set and they knew how to drive and so on. They even came to us like, oh, I learned here in 2 days more than previous 4 or 5 years. Like it's maybe small things, but that it matters so much on the racing side. So for sure, this kind of clinics will be going on different countries and at different levels. From my point on Spain, I'm starting to work on this for the middle of the year, and for sure USA and all other countries will be on. So I think it's a good point on this. And also we were in Peru, Brazil, and Chile, 4 tracks and completely 4 different tracks, I would say. We had many different layouts and surfaces. Peru was quite slippery. I was told that the Mayaco car in slippery conditions was a little bit tricky to get a good setup. But to be honest, I felt super good. I came from my previous brand from Mugen that on power it was fishing a little bit on this kind of conditions, but I felt the Mayaco super easy to drive. There I tested for first time the 3-piece C-hub, the 3-piece hub on the rear, with the rear arms where you can be long or short arm. So we went there with a short arm, and it helped me a lot on the slippery conditions. The car had good rotation, and on power had so much grip than with the long arm. So it's something you could test if you go to a slippery conditions track. If you go to short rear arm with the 3-piece hub, it really helps so much. Like on power and so on, it's good. I mean, there in Peru we have already 3 guys plus 3 coming more, so 6 in total, and they're going with the regional. They feel good with the regional already, which is long rear arm. But I believe if they try the short arm, they will feel so much better also. So it's one point you should test on the slippery conditions, I guess. And as I told, yeah, it was super easy to drive, to be honest. And also the car is so sensitive on the roll bars, more than Mugen, for example. So if on the car you change 0.1, it makes quite a big difference. So yeah, in all trip, we were from super slippery to one of the most edgy track I've ever been, like little bit slippery, but high grip and really a lot of side bite because of the dirt just was super broke and so on. And roll bar, we front in Peru, I think it was 2.2, and in Chile, which was the edge track, it was 2.3. So I mean, just with the small changes, you can feel a lot difference. And on the rear, we went from 2.4 to 2.6. In Peru, we finished 2.1, I guess, with the KPI 1. But it's just 2.10, 0.2 difference. So it's super small. And it's good also. So no need to have 10 different rollers. With just 2 or 3, it can be good for almost all surfaces. And yeah, in Peru also I tested for first time the KPI 0. And if you're in a tight track, like a lot of 180s and slippery conditions and so on, it's a little bit faster, maybe a little bit difficult because the steering is crazy, but it's something to test the KPI 0 if you are on the 180s and a slippery track. But we have also the KPI 0.5, I think can be a good compromise sometimes. So I have to test yet. I couldn't test it. I wanted to test it yesterday, but it rained here, so I couldn't go. So I hope I can go tomorrow. And if I can test them, I will let you know with my feelings about KPI Pump 5. And yeah, then, I mean, in all three countries, Peru, Brazil, and Chile, everything was awesome. They enjoyed so much. And they really like the car a lot. We have now service centers in all three countries. And we have also service centers in Paraguay, Bolivia, Colombia, and Argentina maybe, but Argentina, they are not in a good moment for economical side. But yes, I think we are growing on this side. For sure, the members will grow a little bit slowly than a normal customer, I would say. But I think we are on a good point. We need to work a little bit more on the member experience. Just show to the people also what member means, and also it would be super helpful for us if you all help us a little bit on, I don't know, you are members, so if you are lacking something, if you would like something else, if you think about, I don't know, we could do this and it would be better for us or something like that, for sure. I mean, you all have my Discord there, so you can write me on private or whatever you want, and we can discuss and have a chat on this. I'm open. We are open on anything, and we are working on things for sure. But I mean, if we have all members like explaining us what they think and what they feel, what they want, and so on, it's also good for us. It's better 100 to think than just 4 to think. So for sure, it will help. And coming back to the trip, yeah, it was overall super good, to be honest. Joseph had good attitude, so it was good. I think I learned a lot on the car. For example, this weekend, my brother had a regional. I couldn't attend, but I could help him so much better than I was helping him during this year. I understood so much better the car, and it reacts quite similar to everyone. So I guess we can have a good setups. We have the setups from Peru, Chile, and Brazil. So we will post them up, and you will be able to test them and let me know what you think and what you feel with the setup. So if we have to do some changes. And yeah, in general, it was super good. Lefty just help us a lot also in organizing everything. He forgot me sometimes to taking me some water. He just thought on beers and so on. But yeah, it was good, even though like everything was great. And for sure, I mean, I feel super good here in Mayaco. I think the brand just is making a huge step forward for the RC, not only for us, but I think for the RC, we will help a lot. I hope we can just show up to everyone and just to make Mayaco really diverse for the people and really popular. So then it will make the other brands change, and I think it will be good for all RC community, not only for us. I think we have a cake right now on the RC from the whole population in the world. So if that cake is just going bigger, for sure all of us will enjoy more, and all RC brands will benefit on that, not only us. So yeah, I'm sure about it. I'm working on kind of different things out of RC. I cannot tell yet because I don't, until it's everything settled, I don't like to talk, not to ruin it. But yeah, I will work a little bit to show Mayaco outside RC. I think it's a good point. So yes, we will work on that and we will push so hard. For sure, it's not 100% sure we will get the goals, but all my Yako staff are super confident on that. So I think we are growing so much, and well, we don't have cars right now in stock, so it's quite a good point, I would say, in terms of sales. And I hope you enjoy a lot the EU version. I think it's awesome kit. Like, you don't need even to buy one more part. It's everything we use more or less. And yeah, for sure, we will see this year. I hope we have to do another EU version and another electric Wolf version and all these kind of things. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you have, I don't know, any question to me or whatever, just free to ask.
Yeah, we had to
Based
wait.
off that,
Yeah, go on.
sorry, go Joseph. Go Joseph.
Yeah, I just said we had to wait until after the Worlds for the EU version. It was so close to being worth the wait too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I checked the toe blocks. Yeah, so it's the 50 and the 53. So 1.5 toe in standard. That's what we run almost always. So that's what's standard on the European champion version. Okay, Tim.
So we're still, the plan is still just to run a prototype EP8 until after the Worlds. Is that correct? The EP8 Worlds?
Yeah, that's correct. But we'll also have the battery. What is it, like bracing? How to attach the battery, hold it in the car. You don't need parts from other cars to do that. So we'll have our own.
Okay, so the prototype will eventually have everything of our own.
Yeah, and if there are still kits in stock, then we just add them to that, because they will work with the current car, and whatever developments we make then further than that, they'll work with that too. So if you have a car now, the new parts will work on what you have, and then you can buy additional and new parts also throughout the year. So the goal is that we go into the World Championships then with the best possible car, and then after that we release it as a production version. So most of the coming year, the e-buggy will be members only.
The World should be end of September or initially October. They don't know yet, but more or less.
So our Aussie Nationals are now the end of October or early October, Darren. Do you remember seeing the post about that? Oh, so you're muted, buddy. I can't hear.
Tim, that's end of October, 24th, weekend of 24th, I think.
So that's our Nationals, and they're being held in Western Australia. So we're going to have, well, where the World Track was in Australia. So we'll have a few people for that. So hopefully we'll have a few more on board by then.
Well, don't worry about it. Tim, I'll be there racing, so we should be covered. Should be
cool.
Win by multiple laps.
Robert should come out for a holiday.
Yeah,
would be nice. Would be nice for sure.
Free accommodation.
Yeah, we've got accommodation for you. That's sorted. If you can handle Joseph for 3 weeks, you can handle where we can put you.
Awesome.
I had to handle Robert, to be honest.
I think we are going to Philippines, Master, together again.
I heard rumors about this.
I can't swing that, unfortunately, but yeah.
You know, that race is my 40th birthday.
Yes, I heard that you're gonna. No, I'm not. I had looked at it, but Joseph and Robert are apparently.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking about it, but I hadn't pulled the trigger yet. But yeah.
New Zealanders are going.
Well, I'm a New Zealander in reality, so.
Okay.
Does that count?
You should be going too.
Just have to live in Australia. That's the horrible part.
Yet he's still here.
That's the only way I can afford to race RC cars is live in Australia.
Oh, Ogi is here actually. Ogi.
Is he here?
Yeah, Rogelio Tiu. See? He can talk about Philippine Masters.
Oh, yeah.
He has all the insight.
Hey, everyone.
Yep.
Hey,
I'm just
hey,
eating.
Augie.
Hello.
Yes.
The Philippine Masters will be April 27 to April 30th. Yeah,
when
so
do we
it will
when do we see the track?
last race tomorrow. Then Edward will completely relay out it. Kinetic type, according to him.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it will be tricky. Molasses again, your favorite surface.
Yeah.
Is it still Círculo Verde or not?
It's still in Circulo Verde, but remember
Another
the bike? It's somewhere in the area. It's the bike park.
Yeah, close,
Remember,
right?
there's a bike park there. So the covered one, we
Yeah.
transferred.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Edward told me.
yeah, so it's the same place. It's a lot bigger now, but
Nice.
it's the Circulo Verde Park now has restaurants and convenience stores. Not like before that we need to go to some other place to get food. Now it's inside the compound.
Nice.
Yeah. So, are you conducting any clinic during the? Because a lot of Asian guys are asking if JQ or you will be handling a invisible speed clinic.
Yeah, we could do one. We could have one after the race, maybe.
I don't know the time of the other guys, but some guys are coming in like a week before. Like some of them are arriving Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So the track will be closed for locals as Thursday. So international players will be able to practice Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't be available for locals.
Yeah, we can
Actually,
talk
there are
about
more
it.
international.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm not sure what day is best for if you having a clinic or maybe during open practice time.
Yeah, we can try to make a schedule or something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we talk now. I will write you.
Okay.
Good. Many other questions or comments?
I have one that's not Miyako related, but something that's close to your heart, Joseph.
Oh God.
RCGP. I saw the post about not happening
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
What led it to fall over? Can I ask what led it to fall over? Like not enough people interested, or what's?
Well, not the brand's not
Or if it's too
interested.
tricky, or if it's too tricky, walk away from the comment.
Well, it's not really tricky. I mean, the first year happened basically because I was just persistent enough, I guess, to get people on board, like no matter what. Almost like also being like talking to everyone and saying like, well, these guys are joining, so you should join, when no one had actually joined, but everyone thinking that everyone's joining, So getting enough people on board. And same with tracks and everything, like putting everything together. So we got it together. The first year was okay, but since it was new, of course, there was a lot of investment from David Isherwood's side, because the cost of RCGP really is the media. So there's so many people that have to go there just to be able to run the race in a particular way, so you can produce the media. I mean, there's press conferences and interviews before and after and all these things that they don't just happen. You have to sort of plan for it to be able to do it. So that's really the cost of RCGP. So the first year I thought was decent. Then COVID came, so everything got delayed. And then after that, for the second year, I didn't really want to do anything for it. I mean, people think that we made money with RCGP or whatever. I spent money. I didn't make anything. I spent a lot of time and my own money for RCGP. Then the second season, the only way that it would really work is if more teams were to join, if RC brands would decide to sponsor. Like many different things were tried and suggested. Even the teams that were in it, they always sort of said the right things, but never did anything to support or help. Even simple things like, okay, if all the brands that are used, engine, tires, everything that's used in RCGP, everyone just pitches in a bit, you know, then we can pull this off. So the teams would have had to do that, like all the drivers, their sponsors. Hey, we're joining RCGP. The registration fee is $500 or whatever. Everyone just got that together, and there's 40 different brands involved. You know, you start having a budget, but you know, nothing was ever achieved. So all of these things, sort of not having enough teams sign up, not having the teams who did sign up be willing to, you know, lift a finger to do anything to further the cause. Then the races themselves not having the entries, everything just compounded to the point where basically Sherwood was just paying to put on every race.
Yeah.
And yeah, he doesn't want to do it anymore. So it's a
Fair enough,
shame
yeah.
because the idea is really to have sort of one thing that you can show. This is what we do. This is RC car racing. Like one website, one social media presence, one racing series. And then through that, it helps to grow like every form of racing, really, because it's the pinnacle. It's the one thing that you can show to anyone. And the idea was always to have all the major brands support that one thing so it can become something big. Because now if all the brands, J Concepts do their own thing, Mugen do their own thing, X-Ray do their own thing, they are very limited with what they can do. But if they all work towards the same cause, it can be so much bigger. And also, even for the people in RC already, it's a lot better, a lot more exciting, because the best drivers are racing together multiple times. And when they race together, the coverage is awesome. So there's like no one loses. That's the sort of annoying thing about this. So now we go back to, oh, what's the next race? SIC, who's going? The best Americans. Where's the coverage? There's no coverage.
Yep.
What's the fucking point? You know?
Goes back to
DNC,
the odd,
okay.
it may be on live RC or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
Yeah. DNC, many of the best guys are going, but not all, you know.
Yeah.
Coverage, DNC is actually usually okay, but also the scheduling, it's, you know, it is what it is. It's could be a lot better. So yeah, so that's why it's going away. There was talk of trying to do it, so at least work with the manufacturers to figure out, okay, which races do we want to support? Let's all go to the same races. If they did that, there could be like a virtual series, you know, all the best guys are 4 of the same races, have a point system, then at the end of the year have one RCGP based on those sort of virtual points. Like that was one idea floated, but I mean, again, it's like the manufacturers can't even agree on which races to go to, you know. Like, oh, some of the top guys, we're going to go DNC. Others, we're going to go Silver State, you know. They can't even agree on like 3 or 4 races where everyone would go. So that's where we are.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Joseph, do you think if somebody else tried to do pretty much the exact same concept as RCGP, but you weren't involved at all, do you think it would fly?
No, that's a dumb argument because it's happened before. So Scotty Ernst, Red RC, the Finnish organization who put on the Worlds, all these people have tried, they didn't even get one race because they weren't willing to go to the extent that I was, and they weren't willing to put in money that David did. So it's just a cop-out or an excuse to say that it's something to do with me. Like RCGP wouldn't exist if it wasn't for me. That's the truth. It's not that it failed because of me. No, it existed because of me. It failed because our industry is such, it's so small, selfish, greedy, and amateurist. That's why it failed. Yeah, of course,
It is
RCGP
very
could have done
narrow.
many things better, but that's sort of beside the point, I would say.
Like, I have to admit, even as a distributor for Miyako and for Ultimate stuff in Oz, trying to get other places to even stock it, I'm making sure that I take as minimal amount as possible to make sure that the shops are making as much profit as possible to sell the product. But if you go to all the other suppliers and all the other companies, they're wanting their 30-40% on top before the shops get any money. And I'm trying to get the thinking changed around that, because we want the shops making the money. We want that to be able to then put more stock in their shops, to have more stuff for their customers within the shops to make it viable. But they don't see it that way. Proline don't see it that way. AKA don't see it that way. There's just, it's fucking hard to change people's thinking and mindset about how we improve this for everyone else, instead of looking at our own pocket. It's so fucking hard.
It's not really a question of money either. So budgets or race calendars or all of that. It's more an attitude. You just have to use the same money in a different way. That's really the key point, and people aren't willing to change. They've been doing the same thing over and over, and they're comfortable doing that, even if it's not working. So they would rather do the same thing, go to the same races and complain about the same things, than actually do something different that could be better. Even if they seemingly agree that it's better because they say that, they still won't do it. That's what I find very frustrating. So you can spend the money to go to a race that doesn't have coverage. Your driver can finish 7th. And the only reason anyone would know is because you posted on your own social media, right? That doesn't make sense to me. Versus you go to a race where you have promotion of your brand and your drivers not done by you before the event, during and after, regardless of where you finish. You spend the same money. Yeah,
Unfortunately, people aren't willing to get out of their own little comfort zone of what they're used to, though, as well.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I would say that RCGP did have a positive influence already on some races, like different formats and improved coverage and presentation of tracks and events. I don't know if that will last or if it will continue to evolve, but I've seen that positive change at least.
I know the guys that run the unofficial RCGP in South Australia, without speaking to Isherwood to start with. Like, I know that their plan is still to continue using that brand, to keep using that name, and to try and continue that on. They want to keep that style of racing happening. So that's their plan, is to carry that on every year, to try and make it the same weekend every year in Australia, in South Australia, on their oil track, and continue that on. So again,
I don't know. I think that one day down the road, something could still come of it, of RCGP or something else, like this effort, this sort of template that was set. I think something can still come of it later on.
Okay, back to Miyako topics. Sorry, guys.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then remember tonight,
Yeah.
I think it's in 6 hours time. No, sorry. 8 hours time.
8 hours.
In 8 hours time, we have another meeting and same topics, but we add 2 surprises. Yeah.
In 8 hours,
So-
I'll be asleep.
Yeah, I'll be setting an alarm to join you. So would these be the announcement that we're expecting for the new year and the one that Robert dropped a hint at saying we're meant to find out about a week and a half ago?
Well, one is one you're expecting, another is completely different, and
Yeah.
no one knows anything.
Okay. All right.
be nice.
Joseph,
guys.
Joseph,
Yeah.
invisible speed competition draw.
Yeah, we did it on the podcast yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, Mike Driscoll from UK won.
Cool.
Car built by Ron Falk.
And the car built by Robert.
There's no more Mugans. He said he doesn't want to build one.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
It was
a
one.
second Mayako it is then.
A second Mayako we have to draw.
Yeah. You can't change the rules.
We have to draw a second Mayako. Was it really 2?
One Mugen, one Mayako.
No more Mugans.
Were the rules like
Robert's big.
1-on-1?
I don't know.
I mean, I understood it was like the winner just choose if he wanted a Mayako or a Mugen.
The way that Lefty put it on the podcast repeatedly was the winner gets to choose a Mayako or a Mugen, built by either Robert or David, and then the second place gets what's left over, the other one.
Okay, so
I
then
am-
it's a Mayako also.
I understood the other.
But then the second one, Lefty builds it.
Yeah, for sure.
So it will never get built.
Yeah.
It'll sit on the shelf.
So we have to have a second drawing of a Mayako built by Lefty. Okay,
Do.
you can do that.
He will do a video, YouTube video doing it.
Yeah. How to
I
build
mean-
a Mayako with one hand.
And with all the money that you're making now, you need to go and get a new headset.
Yeah, that's actually my Christmas present, or my plan for a Christmas present. But unfortunately, I haven't been making much money. I will still get one. Maybe with these new signings, one which we'll reveal tonight, maybe things will change. That's the plan.
Is it? You're not going to say. Is it someone that we're expecting? Nod for yes.
I don't
or
know.
Shake for no.
I don't know what you are expecting.
Oh, you.
Well, it's a pretty limited pool when you say it's a world champion. Unless you're talking about something completely left field and it's a world champion from Tiddlywinks or something.
Could be.
Look, I'm just thinking like the surprise rabbit out of the hat is if he sorted out all these issues would be Cody King.
We would. Okay, well, set your alarm and see you in 8 hours.
No problem. See you, boys.
Okay.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye.
See ya.